Fatimah's family is incomplete and torn apart by a decision her brother made nearly 4 years ago. He left Jakarta without notice, taking his wife and daughter with him to join ISIL.
My brother isn't a violent person. My family isn't like that. I was shocked when they left. If I had known, of course, I wouldn't have approved.
He's now in jail in Syria. The Indonesian government's decision to ban former ISIL fighters and their families from returning means she will likely never see her brother again.
I want them back here. I want them to have a normal life in Indonesia again.
Among those stuck in Syria and other countries are hundreds of Indonesian ISIL fighters and sympathisers, and the question of what to do with them is one the government has considered for months.
The government has the responsibility to keep more than 267 million people safe. That's our priority, and that's why we won't take these foreign fighters back.
Armed groups are a major concern in Indonesia, and ISIL has been linked to dozens of attacks around the country. In 2018, a family of suicide bombers carried out attacks on churches in Surabaya. They were part of an ISIL-inspired armed group, and there are fears returning foreign fighters could pose a security risk. But some human rights activists say barring them from returning to Indonesia is illegal.
In Indonesian constitutions, the main obligation of the country is to protect all Indonesians, including the criminals. Yeah? If they are criminals, they are still Indonesian.
The strong stance of the Indonesian government will leave hundreds stranded with no prospect of returning home. But the fate of young children, many of them orphans, remains unclear. The government says their situation will be considered on a case-by-case basis, leaving the door open for their potential return. According to US intelligence, 689 people left Indonesia to join ISIL. Indonesian authorities are working to identify them. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera, Jakarta.